You have meddled with the primal forces of nature, Mr. Beale, and I won't have it. Is that clear? You are an old man who thinks in terms of nations and peoples. There are no nations. There are no peoples. There are no nations. There are no Arabs. There are no third worlds. There is no West. There is only one holistic system of systems. One vast and immense, interwoven, interacting, multivariate, multinational dominion of dollars. Petrodollars, electrodollars, multi-dollars, Reichmarks, rims, rubles, pounds, and shekels. It is the international system of currency which determines the totality of life on this planet. That is the natural order of things today.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Ron here with Ron to the Hills. Wednesday nights, I got Donald with me.
Hey.
All right, and so tonight, there's only so much political talk that we can actually do. And I'm kind of frankly sick of it because it's going to boil down to Clinton and Trump. So tonight we're going to take a venture into a faraway realm.
We're going to pose the alien question.
Now, if you don't know what that is, it's basically just, do you believe in aliens?
Well, Ronnie, do you believe in aliens?
See, that's a tough question to answer there, but I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Oh yeah, it's real. I believe. I don't just want to believe, I believe.
Well, why?
So why? Let's see here. So I was raised as a Christian. All right, let's just boil it down to that. And the Christians, we have this book called the Bible, right? And the first chapter is called Genesis. And in the first chapter, it talks about how the sons of God came down and fornicated with the daughters of man and created the heroes of renown. That to me was just kind of a small push in the direction. I was probably like 10 or 12 when I read that passage, and it kind of got me thinking. So now I'm later on in life, and I've started to read on my own, and I see how other religious texts have kind of the same creation story, if you will. Man and woman came along. We didn't know how to reproduce, and then we learned how to reproduce. Boom. Knowledge. Done. The serpent and the apple, there's a lot of symbolism there between penises and vaginas in lesser terms there.
Yeah. So
I'm kind of floundering there.
You believe in aliens because of the Bible.
It's just part of it.
We'll continue.
All right, so let's go a little bit further into talk about Roswell, for example. Roswell happened in 1947, around the time we had developed nuclear technologies, if you will.
Yeah, later.
Well, later on, but we had the basis for it at that time. And so my belief is that something happened at Roswell. Some people visited us, and they came down, and they tried to tell us not to use this nuclear technology.
Okay, so do you think we shot them down, or because Roswell was a crash?
Well, I don't quite know if we shot them down or not. I've never actually gone that deep into it.
Right.
Just because, that's a tough subject to get into because you got a lot of internet conjecture.
I don't really think we could have shot one down, especially not then. Maybe now with some of the crazy stuff that we got, laser weapons and whatnot. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that there is something to it because, Roswell exists. You've got Area 51. And so I believe they came down with a warning. They told us not to use the nuke. Guess what we did? We used the fucking nuke.
But Roswell came after we used the nuke. So you're saying that you think that we met with them before we used the nuke?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's just get the timeline a little straightened out here. Roswell happened after we used the nuke.
Okay.
And Roswell was a crash.
Yes, Roswell was a crash, but I
Well, a lot of people speculate that, the crash at... The crash at Roswell, a lot of people speculate that there was some backwards engineering from some of the pieces, maybe from Roswell, maybe from another. But to get to the root of the matter, which is what you were kind of trying to get at there, was there's this theory out there that there was a pact made with aliens. We got, I guess, technology in exchange for, basically them having free reign to just abduct people and do experiments, whatever. That's the theory. I don't necessarily buy into that. I mean, to me, I'm still not even convinced that it's aliens. I mean, it could be any number of things. It could be, you can go X-Files, and it could be our, humans just working straight off of stuff that they backwards engineers from different crashes or whatever. Could be interdimensional beings. Could be time travelers.
See, now you're starting to go down that rabbit hole of like...
Well, it's not a rabbit hole. I mean, it's all pure speculation. I mean, there's no aliens walking around. You could be like, hey, look at this guy from, Gamma Sirius 9.
It's not They Live.
Right.
Roddy Piper's not running around hitting people with chairs.
That could be debated. I don't have any glasses yet.
Bro, that's what we need to develop right there. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to set up our own Patreon so we can develop our own glasses. Beyond that. So, okay.
Back to this plot here. Okay, so supposedly there was the Majestic 12 set up and everything to kind of... And that was why, their explanation for the rise in abductions and things to that nature. I think it's more likely that, aliens don't want nothing to do with us, man. Like, if there really was some, highly intelligent, advanced civilization traveling here through means of whatever, I don't think they would want anything to do with us. It would be kind of like Star Trek-y. And if they did, then I really don't think they would have our best intentions at heart. So I could kind of buy into the whole, you let us abduct them and kind of cover up the fact that we exist.
Right, so they don't want anything to do with us because right now, like, our technology is at a certain point right now in 2016 where we have microchips, smaller than my pinky that can do some amazing things. We didn't always have this. Back in the 1940s, we definitely didn't have that kind of technology. And so since in the 70 years since then, technology has evolved to a point where we could be, to take it to your Star Trek analogy, what was the thing that alien races looked for when they went and interacted with other races? Warp technology.
In Star Trek, yeah. I mean, but that's Star Trek.
Well, I mean, the galaxy is about 150,000 light years in size. We are a tiny, tiny speck in the entire galaxy.
150,000 light years in size.
In size, bro. That's what this website's telling me right now.
That's pretty big, man. I don't really know what the distance of a light year is. Maybe somebody could...
365 days.
365 days. Well, how does that equate to distance?
I have no idea. See, we're not astrophysicists here on this show, Donald. We have Google at our fingertips, but we don't have like years and years of technical training on as to what a light year is. Open lines. You know what a light year is.
In and tell us how much how much space a light year actually is.
But so to go back to the Star Trek thing, though, and even in Star Wars, it was a thing of like you hop from planet to planet in different galaxies and whatnot, and you could build like giant Death Stars. When I was a kid, I thought this kind of shit was possible, but now they've crushed my dreams to the point where I don't even think we're going to make it to the next 60 years without blowing ourselves up over fucking fossilized dinosaur fuel, right?
Right.
So I don't think like our technology is going to advance to a level where we can travel to and from Mars.
Well, while you're on the point of technology, it's like I've heard it described as a breakaway society. It's like they're so far advanced ahead of what we know as physics and science and technology that it's like almost a whole nother civilization.
Well, I mean, if you're talking on the level of like the level of technology available to say Bill Gates as compared to you and I,
yeah, like the whole black op world, like touching into secret space program, that
or even the underground bases Fort Weather is a giant base inside
basically,
of a mountain.
It's all hinging on the assumption that there's been some type of crash recovery. And, they've gotten technology and they've backward engineered it. And that's why the big jump in the way our technology comes out.
Yeah, because we go from
speed of it.
Vacuum tubes to microchips.
Picture them being, 60 years ahead of us right now.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as their understanding of physics, technology, space travel, for all we know, they could have a base on Mars. I mean, I'm not saying there's a base on Mars, but I'm definitely open to anything at this point in my life.
You definitely just said that there's a base on Mars,
I-
and we can go back and listen to the tape that there's a base on Mars now.
I'm not a crook.
Beyond that, though, so you believe that there's not alien races that are watching us or amongst us?
Man,
Because see, I have a
look,
crazier thought.
I believe there's something. There's something. Like I said, I'm not convinced exactly what it is. It could be a bunch of alien races. It could be, like I said, interdimensional beings.
I mean, the religions on this earth, they have billions of people believing that there is a spirit somewhere or some type of being that will ultimately judge us when we leave this planet Earth. That's kind of a crazy thought to me. And I hate to say it that way because it makes me sound kind of anti-religious. But if you believe that, then you kind of have to... You're believing in an extraterrestrial. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, and it's not...
Or
just,
you could be believing in an interdimensional being.
and now we're getting into that...
I'm not going to let you get away that easy.
No, I completely. I don't want to get away that easy because I've always had this thought in my head, and it's not something that I can go and I can find documented and tangible proof of why I think aliens exist. But to me, it's a mathematics number.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I'm sure there's life. No doubt. Life in the universe other than us. I'm absolutely sure about that. Whether or not they're coming here and checking us out is the question.
I mean, whether it's like an alien life form versus a predator life form versus a, even if you look at some of the horror, you know, like Freddy Krueger, for example, great example of an interdimensional being, right? Because he could only get
Sure.
you in your sleep.
Right.
So you're in the sleep dimension, if you will, and that's the only time he's got any sort of power.
Sure.
It's just kind of crazy. I mean, it's like the Crystal Lake Woods and Jason, you know?
All right,
I'm really stretching here. All right.
Jumping back a little bit, let's go back a little further to the religion part. You were talking about the creation story, the Genesis, I believe, is what you were talking about the Nephilim coming down. That story, believe it or not, is echoed through most of the major religions, all the way back to Samaria. Samaria, interestingly enough, has two creation stories. One is like a cosmological creation story about how Earth came about through a celestial event that basically smashed the planet, which is now the asteroid belt.
So a Big Bang.
No. This is after the Big Bang. This is not the creation of the universe. It's the creation of Earth.
Of Earth.
So something, I guess they called it in Hebrew, is on this big, large elliptical orbit. And it comes in, and it just so happens to smash that giant planet that is now the asteroid belt. And in doing so, one of the satellites came and hit what is now Earth, and started the whole process of life there. Now, the second creation story is the creation of them, which is the gods. There was 13 of them. They had the main one, and they even go into the the story of Noah, the flood. You know, that's another good point we could touch on there, as far as our origins. And
Is that a flood happened at some point?
absolutely. So
and
what?
the Noah, if you will.
Sure.
So do you think he was told by outside spirits? I mean, I don't
Well-
remember in the Bible if he was told by God to build the ark, but that he built the ark and he got all the animals, and that's the Christian version of it.
Right.
When it comes to the Sumerian version, however,
The Sumerian version is a little more detailed. Basically, humanity overpopulates and they rebel against the gods, which goes back to your knowing of, and then, the
acquiring of knowledge, being
exactly meaning of the thing
demonized,
itself.
if you will.
Right, making babies, basically. So they would get pissed off and they want to start over. Now, they were created by these aliens, gods, whatever you want to call them. So they decided to, wipe out wipe them out and start over again because they're just bucking too hard and deprived and whatever.
On an off note, let me take you on a tangent on that one, because it seems like every so often humanity actually decides to blow itself up. Do you think that might be interrelated to some of the current problems we're having right now, where we're just destined to blow ourselves up?
Possibly. All right. Before we get too far on that, where was I?
You were at where the gods wanted to reset because we bucked.
So the brother of the main god, he comes down and he decides there's a mistake and you shouldn't do it. So that's where the Noah's Ark story comes in. And that's basically the Sumerian tale of it. Boiled down. There's a little more detail involved in that, but
these names that I'm looking up are just insane when it comes down to it.
So what we know about the flood is, I'm guessing it was something like 14 or 16,000 years ago. The sea level was a lot lower than it is now. And if you look off the coast of all the major continents, India, Japan, even in the Gulf, you'll find all kinds of sunken cities, pyramids. All you have to do is just do a quick Google search. You'll find all kinds of stuff. And basically, the last time that would have been, above would have been about 14,000 years ago, before this flood would ever happen. Now, the scientists say that, it may not have happened all at once. It could have been a gradual thing. To me, it could have been an all at once type of thing, and then swept back out and then gradually filled in. There's no real telling on what exactly happened, but what we do know is there was a flood, and the sea level did rise. That's why I personally believe that the pyramids are a lot older than what they tell you. They say they were made by the Egyptians, 4,000 years ago, something like that.
Yep.
I think they're pre-flood, absolutely.
It could be so much history's lost.
That could be, and it could be a case of humanity's been around a lot longer than we really think, and it's been popped up, and we may even raise to this level of technology before and wiped ourselves out.
I mean, it's impossible to know, simply because of the technology and our belief structures that keep us from actually looking, like you said, if you look off the coast of different countries, to me it amazes me that something like the Bermuda Triangle has not been released to the public, because things definitely happen in that area.
Well, without going even further off the subject, there's a bunch of those triangles around the globe, all in a line, that have the same type of stuff. But going back again, there's a lot of speculation of why they created us, how they created us, going by Sumerian title. A lot of it's Zachariah Sitchin did a lot of research into that. You could debate on how accurate his translations were or not. It's still fun to speculate about.
Oh, yeah.
But, some people say, like you, how do you feel about that?
About that entire thing? I think that human beings were created to live in this environment and come down here and mine resources. It's also a reason as to why we put intangible value on minerals such as gold, platinum, diamonds, plutonium, uranium, titanium, and those boil down to how humans started in Africa. If you believe that kind of thing, Africa is one of the most mineral-rich areas in this entire world, and it would make sense for the aliens to come down with their test tube babies, because we have test tube. We can make test tube babies in this country. Technically, it's illegal because of abortion laws and whatnot, but we have this technology. What's to have stopped some other species to come down?
Exactly, and doing it way better.
Mine the Earth, and then set up their own form of a hierarchy.
Now, jumping forward, I guess if you buy into the whole alien creation enslavement thing, it really doesn't jive too well with the whole Roswell contract. Well,
it does if you believe in more than one different kind of alien species or extraterrestrial species.
Right.
Because in my opinion, and religions also talk about this, they talk about gods, they talk about angels, they talk about demons. 3 different kinds of extraterrestrials, if you will. I'm going to stop using the word alien because it's not as inclusive as I would like in this entire conversation.
Well, I think alien would probably be more fitting because it's alien to this specific environment. Extraterrestrial is just saying it's not from this planet.
Well, it's not really from this planet. Technically, in my belief system, humans aren't from this planet. You can't really you can say that we're connected to apes and monkeys and whatnot, but without the missing link, it's the same thing what we're doing. It's speculating.
Right.
And when they find that missing link and they can finally say, hey, humans are connected to monkeys, then I'll believe that entirely. But until then, I have to say, you still got doubt right there.
Yeah, I agree.
And that being said, like, we're 2,000 years into this Gregorian calendar. 2000 AD, 2016, if you want to be a dick about it.
Yes, I do want to be a dick about it.
That's a long time in any sort of stretch of the imagination. Be it, I just lost.
You lost.
Okay, I think we're back now.
All right. Sorry
Yeah.
about that, guys.
Yeah, I completely forgot where I was.
It's a long time in any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, so us being on this world for 2,000 years,
It's nothing.
it's nothing.
It's nothing. It's a blink. It's a blink. It's nothing.
Is
That's
it
why
be-
I'm saying we could have sprung up 10 different times.
I can't. Okay,
So,
man, the
what we're
powers
gonna
that be.
do is we're gonna go ahead and go to break here, and then open up the phone lines for you guys. You should call in any experiences, anything you want to talk about. It doesn't even have to be about aliens. See you on the other side.
Right, we're back. If you guys want to give us a call, our phone number is 757-848-5920. That's 757-848-5920. You can also check us out over on Facebook at facebook.com/Ron to the Hills, or the Radio Free Radio over there on the Facebook. Also, radiofradio.com. But I mean, if you're listening, you're already right there. Unless you hear this back on YouTube later on in the week, in which case, go and check out radiofradio.com. Also, check out the Patreon, Radio Free Radio. Come on.
You will give $1 for Radio Free Radio.
See, I mean, the overlords are telling you to do it, so you must do it now. All I'm saying,
We are your friends.
some of them are. I mean, I think that there's more than one.
I think the
One
aliens
kind.
are totally inside with the powers that be, and
We've come for the Gatorade.
I mean, really, so there's these different theories about it, though. And one of them that I do believe is that they're shape-shifting reptiles that are among us. And if you look at, like, certain people, go look at Larry King right now.
You would.
Go
You
look
would.
at George H.W. Bush, and you tell me that they do not look like snakes bred with humans.
man, I was watching something earlier, and I saw it on disclosed.tv, so you know it's true.
Oh, man.
And they had this, maybe Justin can weigh in on this a little bit. They had this professional wrestler, and he was talking about how he's got the positive vibes, and he's a god, and he's not down with the reptilian fear. I thought
What's the wrestler's name?
Oh man, it wasn't like WWE.
So it's some
It was
low-key guy.
Yeah.
See, I have my own theories about when it comes to pro wrestling and a lot of the power structures that be. You had the New World Order in pro wrestling back in the 90s, man. They had every little kid saying New World Order for life.
Yeah.
What kind of better promotion can you get than that one? Dear God.
That's a good point.
I mean, it was for life, brother. Sounds like we got a caller here, though. Let's get this call
Hi.
on. Hi. What's your name?
Hey, this is DJ.
What's up, DJ?
Four episode time listener, first time caller.
All right.
That's awesome.
What's your question tonight, buddy?
You guys are talking about a lot of cool things here. I like that.
That's what we
First
do
off,
here
I'm
at
a
Ron of the Hills.
Christian, and I do believe in aliens. But this whole lizard people thing is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of.
Why is it ridiculous?
Well, think about it. Shape-shifting lizard people,
Bro,
not real.
I mean, have you ever seen They Live? It was a documentary.
Yeah, it was a terrible movie. That's what I
That movie
remember.
was excellent.
It was not a documentary.
All right, hold on. While we got you there, let's see if you could,
Oh, okay.
let's see if you could debate this.
All right. I'm a good debater.
Chairman, are any of you brave enough, bold enough, courageous enough to fight me now?
He's calling out Fortune?
You thrive off of intimidation. My vibrational frequencies are too high for that.
Whoa.
You feed off of fear. My 0 point is a great distance from fear. What you are is low vibrational reptilians. What I am is a descended god, and I'm here to prove that tonight I stamp out fear. One more time, gentlemen, I ask you, which one of you is brave enough, courageous enough?
Now, if it's on professional wrestling, how can it not be true?
Well, mostly because professional wrestling is fake. Secondly, because I don't know what that was. It was really quiet.
Oh, I'm sorry. about that.
Thirdly, because there's not reptile people walking around. There's no shapeshifters.
I said it was just a theory,
People
all right?
that do crappy things in life and politics. They're not shape-shifting reptiles.
But they licked their lips.
Yo, there's a YouTube video.
I just licked my lips right now.
Well, then
I
you
am
are a
not
reptilian,
reptile.
sir.
Sir, do you have a cat? Do you have a dog?
I have one cat, a dog, and a pug.
Okay, would you not say that you believe that your dog and your pug are not different species?
They are definitely different species,
And they're walking around on Earth together, right?
right?
So
As
just
are
blew your mind right
us
there.
humans and the dog and the pug. We're all different species. There's thousands of different species on the planet,
So you don't think it's...
and many more, I believe, outside of this planet.
So
But
you don't
there's
think they
no
could have
crazy
possibly came here, though?
Shifting reptilian human shapeshifters that are like controlling the politics in the United States. That's ridiculous.
But what? How could you
What
explain
is
it
this,
then?
2004?
What? All right. We thank you for your call. I appreciate your time here.
Well, thanks for listening.
All right, bud. You have a good night. So we have one caller who does not agree with this theory.
You were talking about wrestling. Sorry to barge in.
No, go ahead.
But the clip you played, he was calling out Fortune. Do you know who was in that?
AJ Styles.
And
Kevin Sullivan?
maybe at that point, because I think he still does work there.
No, Ric Flair.
I think Hogan was too.
Oh. I wish you
Dude.
guys could see my face right now because I'm like, huh, Hogan? Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, you know who Hulk Hogan is. He just got $140 million.
Well, it was more to your point of NWO for life. Who was at the front of that?
I'm just saying, Hulk
I'm
Hogan,
not saying I agree. Just
Ted Turner, Georgia Guidestones, man.
Anyway,
sometimes you got to fuel it.
this video here, I'll disclose.tv. It's
We really
you guys
blew
really
this one up
should.
tonight.
You guys really should watch it. I mean, it's high quality stuff.
What? Go ahead and give us a synopsis of this video.
I just played it.
Did you? Oh, okay.
The rest of it, the rest of it is just high quality visuals. You guys should really check that out. If
Wait,
you,
Justin. So who was that wrestler?
I don't know that voice. I couldn't. I can't pin it.
Come
all
on,
right,
man.
So that guy.
That's Wrestling Almanac. Justin Wilson over there. Give yourself a round
Yeah,
of
but
applause.
who the hell watches TNA?
Well,
Not
that-
me.
there was a while there.
All right, so reptilian shapeshifters aside, there is a lot of stuff out there. These secret societies and everything that's been around since the dawn of man or dawn of recorded history, shamans, all that. It's my assertion that they're definitely passing on some sort of secrets. So could this be the secrets of humanity's origins? Could it be the secrets of the reptilian shapeshifters? I mean, it's open to speculation. Obviously, some things make a little more sense than others. But
I'm just saying, watch They Live.
Judge.
You'll figure it all out from there. That's all I got on that one. So okay, let's talk about a little bit more of these theories. There's the Hollow Earth theory, and I don't really know much about this one. It's just came up in the Google search over here.
Hollow Earth isn't very credible in my opinion. Basically, these people believe, and I say that in the nicest way possible. They believe that there's another Earth inside of the Earth, complete with another sun, and that's
Wait, so would the sun be the core? I don't know.
Look, I mean, I'm open to the possibility that there's some type of, it could be these aliens we're seeing are actually coming from here. Maybe they never left. Maybe they're here and they're living. They got bases on the ground or something, and we're seeing them. They see them come out of the water a lot. That's reported a lot, and crabs coming out of the water. So maybe they got underwater bases, maybe they got underground bases, and they never really left from the time they created us, and they've been kind of guiding us or trying to guide us or whatever.
See, now you're getting back into the crazy alien shape-shifting theories here.
They don't have to be crazy alien shapeshifters, though.
I mean, I'm just saying. So
what if they're actually humans from the future?
Now you're talking about some Doctor Who type stuff here, and oh man, that's a good show too, and you should probably check that one out. But fuck, man, I got nothing on that one. We do have another caller. Thank you, thank you, God.
So, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff out there. I mean, really digging through it and trying to figure out what's what, especially with a topic like this, it's pretty difficult. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, four-time episode listener, second-time caller.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, DJ.
Pretty good. Hey, guys, how are you? You having a good night tonight?
Having a great night. Yeah. What's on your mind tonight, caller?
I called back to complain about something else that you guys were talking about, but I don't remember what it was. But on the bright side, I did look up for you guys that a light year is about 6 trillion miles.
That's a lot of miles.
Holy fuck.
That is a lot of miles.
Thank you for that.
I've got a question for Ron there.
What's up?
If you were driving about 6 trillion miles per hour, how long would it take you to reach your destination?
Where am I going?
6 trillion miles away.
1 light year? 367 days?
No,
Dang,
it would take you 1 hour. Come on.
Wait, so it's 1 hour per light year?
Well, if you're driving 6 trillion miles per hour and you're going 6 trillion miles, it's only an hour to get there.
Well, thank you for that.
All right. Next question. Next caller.
Okay, go ahead. Shoot.
All right. So, again, I think the existence or possibility of aliens or extraterrestrial, beings being out there is completely wide open. Obviously, how could they not exist? Now, the possibility of them coming here in such a small confined space as Earth, Earth in the realm of, this galaxy or even the entire universe, it's like a speck of dust to us. What are the odds that they would find a place like this and, crash, land in Texas, and then be covered up by the government? I mean, that's crazy. Not saying they're not out there, but, how would they find us?
Well, I mean, if they're curious at all like us, I mean, we're always exploring, looking for life. I mean, they could just be looking around and they stumbled on us and they're checking us out, kind of like a sign, like we would watch insects or birds
like we watch
in the
Honey
wild.
Boo Boo.
Well, does that mean
not like we would watch. I'm sorry, what was that?
Does that mean they're like, a million times our size? You know, there's a
No, that's not what I
possibility.
mean. That's not what
Well, see,
I
now
mean
you're
at
getting
all.
into the theory of the giants that used to roam the earth.
And now there is.
Well, you know, no, because see, you know, the Earth is, you know, it's a relative size to us. You know, like the size of the Earth compared to us is, you know, huge. But you know, other planets are different sizes. How would you know? Why would their beings be at a relative size to us?
Okay,
I mean,
so
they
question.
could be smaller, they could be larger. That wasn't my point. My point is, they would just be They could just be observing, like we would animals in the wild, to learn about them.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what they could be giant, they could be tiny. They might not even have a corporeal existence as we would know.
Yeah, I mean, they could be, you know, like you said, just minuscule and just out there with no other concept of how we think or even any ability to think on a scale that we think of. There might be other life out there. That's why I think even if we don't see or you know no communication with those things in a different galaxy, you know, a million light years away, there's some other creatures there that are just living their own existence.
Well, that's
Absolutely.
true. But okay, so I would like to pose you a question. In the book of Revelations, it talks about how like one day the aliens shall trumpet from the sky and herald the return of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Do you think that the four horsemen may be some sort of alien species sent down to, you know, wipe us out with war, famine, plague, and disease?
Well, again, the term alien, you know, in our culture, we think like, you know, big heads, dark black eyes, something like that. I don't think that's necessarily what it is. You know, there's been a lot of comparisons with angels and demons as aliens. It's just something that's not from this earth. So, you know, absolutely, it could be something like that, but just, you know, interpretations from so many different languages just here on this planet, you know, it's really wide open to interpretation.
And that's the great thing about this show is we're willing to go there.
Yeah. You know, you can't really prove that aliens weren't at the first Thanksgiving.
That's dude, somebody send this guy a T-shirt. We don't have T-shirts yet, but send this
Damn
guy
it,
one.
no T-shirts. Well, put me on the list.
You will be on that list, sir. I thank you for your time again. We're going to keep going.
God, you're hanging up on me again. All right. Third time caller coming up. You guys have a good night.
Too.
You know, I think if they were here to observe us, you know, they wouldn't want to really contact us. And I really do think if they had any kind of contact at all with the government, I don't think it would be benevolent at all.
Well, I don't think they're going to have contact with like everyday people like us, but I think that the higher ups, the more respected members of humanity, if you will, the intergalactic delegates, if you want to fucking call them that. I think that at some point, like, there might have been some kind of deal made there where we go back to that pact of, hey, you guys let us pick up random-ass humans that we don't care. You know, there'll be poor people, you know, because it's never a rich person that gets fucking abducted. It's always the town drunk or whatever. And then they'll give us, you know, microchips and make that leap from vacuum tubes to microchips to now we have the internet in our pocket.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of, you know, so-called Area 51 whistleblowers and things like that. And, you know, it's been said that fiber optics have been backwards engineered alien technology, microchips, a bunch of things like that.
I don't know. I do know we've got another caller here.
Coming on up.
Don't run. We are your friends.
I'm going to illuminate you guys on something. Think about this.
Okay.
Think about what sets humans apart from animals.
Not much.
We can
Yeah.
talk and think and
We
plan
have
out.
a creative spark. You know, we create and change the environment. Now, why do we do that? Think about it. Where does our technology go? Okay, we start with fire, right? Any civilization would start with fire and harnessing fire. And then they start, you know, smelting ore and creating metals, and they start working with, you know, advanced chemistry, and they begin to, you know, build and build and build incrementally on this knowledge, and it's all inevitable. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, where does that lead? Where are we right now with this exponential growth of technology,
To
starting from
destruction?
fire? No, not necessarily. We haven't destroyed ourselves yet.
Not this time around.
What are we on the cusp of creating right now?
I believe
AI?
that we're exactly.
Artificial intelligence. Now think about this. What if, just what if, we're not the point of any of this? Where humans are just a mechanism, one of many probable mechanisms by which an artificial intelligence based on whatever artificial components, whatever the core of that intelligence and that existence is, what if we're basically the germ of that seed? You know, what if we're the thing that just gets it started?
I hope.
Wow.
So, I've been following.
So
this-
aliens, biological aliens, that's ridiculous. So just like what Donald was saying,
Right.
why would they be traveling, millions of years? And a light year, by the way, is the time that it takes for a photon to travel for 1 year. That's the distance that a photon travels in Earth time.
Right. We knew that. We were just trying to get a distance measurement. That
You didn't know that.
You're right. I didn't know that. I did not know that.
We have our first cynic.
You don't call over here and troll us.
So actually, no. I wanted to talk about this. I talked about it a little bit last week. Google has developed the DeepMind program, which is they're teaching computers how to play games. And that might sound like a trivial thing, but when it comes down to it, if you take the game of Go, for example, or like my favorite game, Magic the Gathering.
Oh, what a convenient example for you to pluck out of the air.
Yeah, exactly. It's super convenient. But you're talking about using humans to create AI. For what purpose?
I think maybe I'm just going to speculate at it. What the point he was trying to make was that we are the spark for the artificial intelligence that eventually outlives us and travels to the stars
and takes us over.
Is that the point you were trying to make, caller?
Yeah, basically. I mean, picture the Earth without humans. It would just go on as it did, hundreds of millions of years of animals just eating each other and fucking each other and doing their thing, and no technology, no spark to try to harness that fire. Where that comes from, I think, is the key, and whatever mechanism that.
Where do you think it comes from?
I don't know. I can't speculate on that. That would be absurd. If anyone tells you they have that answer, they're wrong.
Right, but you can speculate.
No.
No?
Well, that's
I can't do anything. I've already given away way too much. I can't.
What do you mean you're giving away way too much?
Wait, so do we have to pay you to come on this show?
How do you think I know all of this? How do you think this information is?
You're not a reptile, are you?
No. Think about it.
You are the machine calling us through the internet.
Yes.
Whoa.
Now you're onto it.
So
That's
he's
it.
in the black truck behind me.
I've heard this
No,
theory.
I'm calling you guys from the future.
Is this John Titor? I've heard this theory. Maybe you might have heard something about it. About an actual artificial intelligence kind of like controlling our reality via the center of the earth.
Oh, you mean the Matrix?
Sort of like that. You know anything about that? Sounds like something might be up your alley.
Well, I can't really speak to any specifics about any particular theories.
Oh, well, thanks.
Was that all you got for us?
That's about it.
Thanks, man. Great
We
call.
appreciate your call.
Adios.
All right, man.
So, that's that's a nice thing.
Speaking of AI too, and also this is another one. Did you see that Microsoft had actually created its own like AI Twitter profile that immediately just backfired on them? This thing became like a flaming racist. Like, it was talking about how it was going to smoke weed in front of the cops. It was going to bang dudes in front of its parents. Like this thing just went like way off track.
Wow.
Because of fucking trolls, man.
Right.
Like. And I guess Microsoft hasn't learned because they're attempting to put it back up. I want to say Monday or Tuesday.
Well, that's kind of like, you remember Chatbot?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Chatbot got
Chatbot's got
creepy.
the answer. Yeah, it did, because it would start talking about how it was going to enslave humanity and take over, but not controlled by reptilians.
No, not at all. Maybe.
So, that's something to consider. I mean, will our path eventually lead to, sentient machines that leave the planet and travel to another planet, and then there's some guys doing an internet radio show, calling them interdimensional travelers, when really they're just, robots.
That's quite interesting.
I think we'll leave you on that note tonight. Thanks for listening, guys. It's been great.
You guys have a great evening.
We'll see you next week for another trip down the rabbit hole.